Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from A Pretty Talent, where we use our God-given talents to make the world a pretty place. Now I am going to do I think it's going to be a short one, I hope so. Short video, I think, on how to make these pockets. Now the whole idea is to use up our book pages, because if you are like me, then you can't stop yourself when you get to these thrift stores. You see all these marvelous books and you just buy all of them because they are fantastic. So this is made from 3 pages, 3 book pages, and it was recently, well, a short while ago, beginning of the year, it was done by, who was it? I think it was Margaret from Seven Plaza, who did a video on this. So if you want to see the original one, you should head over there. Margaret is fantastic. Her her ideas are glorious, and she's just fun to listen to. Her videos are fabulous. So kudos to Margaret. I am going to do this here though. It's not my own thing, but certainly I want to give credit to her. So what you have is a folder, first of all. Then you have a pocket here. You have a pocket at the back, and you have 2 pockets on the inside as well. And what I love about this is that it's a nice sized pocket, well, depending on the size of your pages, of course, that you use. But this, if you use a proper sized page, is going to be a very nice sized pocket to include in a journal. And I also like that it uses up 3 pages at a time, because, well, I've got excess. Now, if you don't have excess, this might be problematic. I am going to use the pages from 2 map books. This is the first, and they are rather large map pages. This is another map book, so they are slightly smaller. Let me show you. No, this is still the first one. This will be the second one. So these are slightly smaller. I have pages from a recipe book, a microwave cooking recipe book. Let me put this to the side. And I'm going to be making quite a few of these, so you can see that it's going to turn into somewhat of a mass make for me. This is a book on statistics, South African statistics of I think it's 74 or something. Old book. Nobody's interested in these statistics anymore. Well, no one that I know are interested in these anymore. This is a paper craft book, actually. And this is the only one with glossy pages that I'm going to be using. Interested to see how that works. This is the old magazines, moviegoer magazines that I've got. Very thin pages. I may have to reinforce these before I can use them, but we'll see how this works out. And then I have an old dictionary pages, and lastly a biology book, pages from a biology book. Now you will see that they are packed this way and that way, and that is because they are already sorted into groups of 3. So a pack like this would have 1, 2, 3 pages. Right, aren't these horrendous? I like that better than this. But in any case, yes, the biology books have interesting images. Now, I am first going to have to switch off because it's actually morning and I am on my way to school. But I did want to quickly do an introduction to this, and I will probably see you this afternoon to finish this. I hope the day works out that way. Sometimes it gets away from me. But in any case, next time you see me, we will be folding this. Hi guys, it's actually been days since I made the first part of this video, but I have been working on and off on the video or on the, yeah, well, let me just grab the stuff, on the items. But it's been one of those weeks that just sort of runs away from you and gets away from you. But here's what I have been doing, and let me show you. This is my one atlas book, map book, that I've used. And look how beautiful this came out. Okay, let's first start here on the outside. So you have a pocket here. Let me do this. You have a deep pocket here, and these are rather large. I have to be honest, these are rather large. They will have to go into a really rather large journal, or you'd need to add pages to this itself and turn it into a journal on its own, in its own right. Right, and here are your pockets on this side. Pocket here, and all I added then was this little closure thing here. And I think they came out spectacular. All of them just absolutely brilliantly spectacular. Got this one upside down. So I love these that are made from the map books. So got a couple more here. Can you see, I don't even use only the map pages, but absolutely fabulous in appearance, and honestly I can't wait to use these in journals. This one has the actual name of the atlas, the Hamlin World Atlas, and look how fantastically, keep opening them up upside down. Okay, but anyways, yes, you can see they are fabulous. Now I left some of the pages unfolded so that I could show you how I did these. And so here are my pages. Now my golden tip for you is this: if you're going to cut the torn side, then cut all 3 pages together so that they are the exact same size. You then need to decide which page will be your outside page. I actually kind of like that one. And decide upon your inside pages as well. So let's leave this as the outside page. Yeah, I think I'll use it like this. Kind of like that idea. Now I'm going to take 2 pages together and fold them in half. Right. Then take one of these pages and fold the corners in like this. Right. And then I'm going to fold it to the opposite side. Now, this we can glue. I'm going to glue it with. We can glue these flaps down. Wait, come on. And then put the line of glue down the center here, also down the 2 sides, the small sides, and at the bottom. And then we're going to glue it to the other page that we have folded. Now you want to line it up neatly. Let's get them down properly. Right. Now, fold this over. You are then going to decide how far your top flap must come over and fold that down. And what is left is going to be your bottom flap, bottom flap, and fold that down. Right. Now, before you do anything else, you want to punch a hole. Just make sure that you're on the top side. Yes. You want to punch a hole here, and I'm going to use my hexagonal punch. You can use a circle punch or well, anything you really want. Right. That's just a small opening to indicate that there's a pocket there. Right. Now, flip this over and glue this on 3 sides. Lay it in place. Make sure it lines up as it should, especially the bottom part. Right. Then a line of glue here at the top, a line of glue here at the bottom. Fold over this pocket. And now all you need to do is to decide what you're going to use for your closure. And looking at this, I'm wondering if I can use one of these maybe. I'll use one of the black ones. Right, so these are just off-cut pieces that I've had, which I've stamped with some of my stamps. I prepare these beforehand. Now I'm just going to cut it more neatly. Toss that. Right, and then glue this in place. Let me do that. It's sort of the top of this. It's glued. So I'm not in the center here. And then it can tuck in like that, and that will be your closure. And just like that, you have an absolutely stunning pocket, envelope pocket that you can add to a journal. Aren't they lovely? Absolutely brilliantly lovely. Right, so that's my one atlas page. Or the pages from the one atlas that I wanted to show you. Now I also have a more vintage atlas, and you can see these maps are really rather more vintage. Let me just quickly take a sip of coffee. It's been an extremely hot day here by us, and I'm rather parched. So this vintage atlas, I've done the same thing, and you see here, beautiful, beautiful map pieces. There's your pocket. Here's how it opens up. And in your inside pages, I've used some of the non-map pages here, and I think it looks gorgeous. I didn't take out too many of these pages, but let me show you this one as well. Oh dear. It got stuck there. Right. So here are my vintage map pages. So these are some, this is, by the way, a German map book that I've got. So I've got 2 pages that are not maps, and then 2 pages that are maps. So these 2 map pages will be my outside pages, and these 2 will be my inside pages. Thinking what I want to do here. I'm going to turn this one like that. Right, so these 2 I'm going to fold in the center. I am rethinking this. Let me do this. I'm going to, no, I need to fold it like this. Okay. I'm going to fold the flap down, and I'm going to fold the flap down. And I am giving them a bit of a space here so that you can bring them closer, but I kind of like that they're not too close. That's, I think, personal preference. Right. And we glue the flaps down. Down the center line, down the sides, and the bottom, and then we stick this down on the page behind this one, lining it up properly in all the corners, properly stuck down like that. Beautiful. I need to just flatten that fold line a bit. Okay. Then, once you've done that, you are again going to decide let's just put it this way. On your cover flap, how far should it come over? And the bottom flap, how far would you like that to come over? Right, and we're going to do that punch here in the center. For the opening. We're going to glue this one down. Lovely. going to glue the sides. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely fabulously gorgeous. Look at that. We need a closure for this one still. Let's see what we've got here. Maybe one of these airmail ones. Again, these are off-cut pieces that I have stamped on. And this one is very white at the back. So now I'm just cutting it out better. I also am going to round these corners. Right, and now this is lovely, but the back is going to show, and so for that reason I am going to just ink it at the back so it's not so stark white. That should do it. Right, then a little bit of glue. I'm going to use this glue. It dries faster, but it is rather empty, so just on the top off. And put it in place. And of course everything is still wet. I think I need to just use this glue here. I'm perhaps working a little fast. Should give this stuff a little bit more time to dry. But in any case, okay. And there's your pocket from this map. These vintage maps are my absolute favorites. I think they are fantastically gorgeous. Although these tend to make fantastically gorgeous pockets in any case. Right. The next ones are from the microwave recipe books that I don't like. Just finishing my coffee before it's ice cold. But with this book, I love them. With this design, I absolutely love them. I thought they came out beautifully. Now here I have done something different. Instead of tucking the closure in, I've put it on the pocket side and just simply put the flap, let the flap come in behind it, tuck in behind it, and that's what's holding it closed. Now, there's your pocket, there's your pocket in the back, opens up into a little folio, and there are your pockets. And don't you think these recipe books finally look beautiful? So this one has no color pictures on it. This one did have the color pages. And I think this is going to look fantastic in a recipe journal, which somewhere down the line I still intend to make. So again, I've gone for the, no, I didn't. What I did on this one, but I got it stuck down here. That's a mistake. Okay. For this one, I made the flap the larger one and the pocket the smaller one. I just wanted to experiment a little bit. But I used all color pages, you can see. The backs didn't have colors on them. All color picture pages, and I still think it came out beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. Love that. Okay, another one with the non-color pages. So very much the same as the other one. Except what I did here is I experimented a little bit with maybe adding a dash of color on the closure. Not a biggie. Another one of those. I just loved how these looked. Finally found something that I loved on these recipe book pages. And sort of went to town with these. Here's another ticket stub thingy that I included. Oh, there's my opening. This time I used a round punch. You see? And some color, splashes of color on the inside. I love that. Love the red. Thought it was a nice surprise there. Some more color pages, photo pages. Why are they all upside down? And what I can say about these pages, always, I keep saying this, very, very strong, sturdy pages. These are going to be such strong pockets to include in a journal. So love these. Oh, these are little printables that I've mounted on paper. They're just printer paper. Mounted it on book pages and turned these into closures. Right, so the recipe book pages. If we fold another one real quick, we need to decide what is going to be on the outside. How about this lovely ice cream on the outside? And we'll do these on the inside. So they'll work like this. See how they are both facing the same way? We fold them, double, I had this one the wrong way. I keep doing that. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to refold it. Fold it in, here in the center. Fold it in here in the center. Glue it down. Sorry. Glue down the flaps. Line of glue down the middle. Line of glue down the sides. Line of glue down the bottom. And now we glue it to this one, making sure it lines up properly. I'm spilling glue. Not good. Okay. And so that's what our inside will look like. Now, we need to do this. This flap needs to come over. This flap needs to come up. Quick punch. Just check my tops. Yes. Quick punch here in the center, the middle back one. Then we flip this one over. glue on 3 sides. I also decorated some of them, and I'm going to show you those just now. I don't normally decorate until I put them in a journal, but with these I thought it was a wonderful opportunity to do so. Okay, I'm going to use this glue, which dries quicker. Here. And now again we need to decide upon a closure. I like the colors that I see here next to me for these closures, but I also kind of like these. I think these are too small. Maybe those are too small. So let me see what I can do here. Maybe one of these. Is there something else I can... Shall I use one of these? That's maybe a nice idea. This is actually a printable. I like the idea of this. Yes, I'm going to go with this. And just a thin line of glue there. Can't remember who the designer is for this. I think Heather and Jan. But I stand to be corrected, and I don't want to assign this to a name and then I'm not certain. So let me rather not venture forth a guess. How lovely is that? Absolutely stunning. Right. Then I went into a book on South African statistics. It's a horrendously boring book, at least to me. Maybe, yes. It's an old book on statistics, 1970s somewhere. Long since, I think people have long since lost interest in it. But I love the numbers on this. These pages are filled with numbers. Loved how these turned out. And I thought I was going to decorate these, but I absolutely love this old typewriter print. All I did was, this is from yet another map book, road map book, that I cut these images from. And this is a long time ago that I made these. So just cut the images and mounted them on another book page to make them a little bit more sturdy. And these are all pre-prepared. And I just added these little frogs and these kinds of elements to these pockets. I thought they made for an interesting addition. So the frogs might not be your thing. Look at the spider. I know some people are going to freak when I use the spider, but I thought they're interesting. This one has some lovely space that one could do something with, but I left it empty for now. There's a scorpion, and the last one, another scorpion. Just, I think I glued this one shut again. Oh my goodness, the glue leaked. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. Upside down. Yes, there's the pocket. Right, and the statistics book surprised me in how beautiful its pockets turned out. These are true vintage pockets because of the font that is no longer in use. We just don't use this on our computers. So this is what the statistics book looks like. This one doesn't have number pages. These are kind of the introductory pages of the book. Let me keep that one for the outside and then fold these two double on the inside. I know I'm repeating this, but this is something that's rather confusing the first time you try it. And I think if you see it done more often than just once, it becomes a little bit easier to do it. And so that's why I keep repeating the folds. Fold 2 pages double, fold the flaps in from the side, glue down the flaps, line of glue down the center here, line of glue down the sides, and a line of glue down the bottom. Then we lay it on the center fold of the other page, line it up on all the sides, this one worked out so absolutely in line that I'm kind of thinking I should have inked this. I will ink this, but I will wait for this to dry and then I'll just ink it, so that, because you can barely see there's another page there. Right, then we fold it over and we decide on, let me make it like this. Let me make this the bottom pocket and this the top flap. And that's simply because I kept the title here, the heading. I wanted to retain that, and now it's facing the right way. So even though if you've got it like this, that's the top of the page. When you fold it over like this, it's going to be at the bottom. Okay, so having done that, we need to, quickly punch a little opening. Now I need to keep my hair together. Yes, the glue needs to come on this side. Because the opening is on this side. Now I did find that this will work with thinner and with sturdier papers. But obviously the stronger your paper, the stronger your pocket. But it doesn't mean you can't use a thinner paper as well. I think. Right, I want something very simple in black. Going through my pile. I might have to go to, okay, this one will work. And this is why I like to have pre-prepared pieces. Even if they're not 100% pre-prepared, they do save a lot of time when it comes to projects like this. fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Love that. First class ticket. En if you can read this, Afrikaans sê enkele aspekte van die veranderings in die Suid-Afrikaanse ekonomiese struktuur sedert die Wêreldoorlog 2. So, economic changes since the Second World War, South African economic changes, and that's a first class ticket. Very interesting how that worked out. Okay, then I have some really shiny pages from a paper craft book. And even these, I thought, worked out rather beautifully. I believe there's another one. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, very strong pages. This is not going to be a vintage journal. Not all journals have to be vintage journals. And so I'm preparing stuff for journals that will maybe have a more modern feel as well. But in any case, yes. So that's what these look like. Let me just see the top is that side, okay. Love this. Love this. And most of the closures come from this pre-prepared little container of mine. Love this one, absolutely love this one with the purples. And when you open it, completely different color scheme. And this one as well. Stunning. Oh, I was going to experiment with this fish thing, but I decided against it. And then I still left the fish in there, but in any case. Okay, I like how these turned out. So these are very strong pages again, and they look like this. Now again, you're going to have to decide. No, there are no full color pages in this one, so pretty much anything can end. I want that on the outside. Okay, so if that's going to be on the outside, let me do this. Right. These two pages are going to be folded double. Let's line them up neatly. Fold them double. Flip the first one over. Actually, don't I want this to show? No. Yeah, no. No. I'm going to go with the writing. Right. Glue this down. Glue this down. A line of glue down the middle, down the side, down the side, down the bottom. Line it up on the fold of the next page. Fold it over. Right, now I'm going to go for this. I love how these two purples accentuate each other. So let me do that. Yes, okay. Love that. Now, punch the center. Opening is on this side. So we glue down here. Here. Right. Line of glue on the side. Line of glue on the side. Bring it over. Just close my glue. And then some sort of closure. What have we got? Actually, in this one, I did see somewhere I had a couple of purple stamps. Now, if only we can find, okay. This is a bit thin, I don't want to use that. That's, those are ones that I bought. They're a little thin. But come on, where are the purple ones now? If I can't find the purple ones, I'm going to have to go for something else. Okay, no, I'm wasting time. Let me go for another one of these first class tickets. And you can repeat. It's not as if these things are going to be used in the same journal. You'll have one per journal. So it's possible to repeat. Right, like that. And that's another one. Now, I'm going to come back and then I'm going to show you these old moviegoer magazines. What I did with those, and then some decorations and whatever, but I need to quickly pause the video. I'll be back just now. Right, from the moviegoer magazine, these are very thin pages. And so I was a bit curious, would I be able to do it? But I did manage it rather nicely. Now, they are never going to be as strong as the other pockets are, but I love how these turned out. And even with the pocket in the back, just absolutely gorgeous. For this one, I kept the old adverts as my focal point. But all of them are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I just tore the glue open here, so I didn't put enough glue down this side. Let me just redo that. and tuck that in. And there's the pocket on the back. Right, same thing here with your openings. Love how that looks. And the pocket at the back. Don't you love this? Oh, these most of them I did this alternative opening thing, where you see the whole printable that I closed it with. I love these. I absolutely love these. Very vintage, very old. So, here's the pages that we're working with. Very flimsy pages. And one has to sort of consider this. I think I'm going to... Shall I go with... maybe the smaller ads at the back. Okay. Oh, I do love that one. Right. So again, you just fold a double. One page will be folded over. Simply glue down your flaps. Right, line of glue down the middle, line of glue down the sides, line of glue down the bottom, line up your pockets with the page underneath it, glue down properly. Fold it over. Okay. So that's going to be the bottom. Just make sure that's, yeah. And this will be the top flap. Right. A quick punch. Flip this over. It's a pity we're losing this, isn't it? You can't save everything. Glue it down. Make sure it's in place. Fabulous. Glue down your sides. And you will see that because this one is absolutely a vintage journal, I didn't bother to straighten everything 100%, sharp lines. So I've got a bit of a torn line here and I retained it because it works in a vintage journal. I'm going to use this rose as a closure. I'm going to glue it to the top here. And simply tuck it in to the bottom. And this is a printable that I've just cut out like a postage stamp. And yeah, that's that. Then some of the pages that I have decorated. So this is a dictionary, old dictionary, and one that comes in volumes, but I only have one volume, so it's a rather nonsensical dictionary to keep if you only have one volume of a set. And here is what I've done. I have decorated these with all of my various little pre-prepared elements that are around me, and I really did surround myself with loads of these. Also things like my books that I've cut out, my fussy cut items from my books, right? Let me just show you. And I have been making videos on these, and I do use them. You just don't always see when and where I use them. But now here's a golden opportunity for me to show you how you put these to use. These mice are printables that I've bought, but aren't these absolutely stunning? And just keep adding elements, and pretty soon a pocket looks gorgeous like that. Look at this one. Here I went with the theme of plants, and it turned out brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. Here I went with a nautical theme. It's upside down now. Went with a nautical theme, like that. And like that at the back, with the pocket being there. Right. And with this one, I just went with an animal theme. Here's my pocket here. Oops. The inside with the pockets. And the back. And look how gorgeous that is. How absolutely brilliantly it works out. And so all you do here is you take your pages. Now some of them will have images on them. It's a dictionary where some of them will have images. So I'm going to put that image on the outside, fold these two pages over on themselves. Right, one gets flipped over, fold in the flaps, fold in the flaps. Right, glue the flaps, and I'm sure by now you can do it with me. It's no longer confusing, or is it still? I don't know. I hope not. I hope by now you found it easy. Line of glue down the center, line of glue down the sides, line of glue down the bottom, and let's take that page away so it's not so confusing. Then we lay this down. I just spilled glue here. Okay. Lovely. Fold it over. Like that, I think. A little bit lower. That ought to do it for a pocket. On this side, we have our top opening. Oops, before we glue, we need to bunch I'm getting ahead of myself here, aren't I? I didn't glue this one down. Right, first that one. Oops. Oi, honestly. First that one. Then the pocket. Goodness me. How many of these have I just made and now I'm getting it wrong? I don't know, that was a little silly. Okay. We want something in, let's do this, something like this. But let's make it a little bit more interesting by cutting it with these scissors. I call them my postage stamp scissors. Because they kind of give you that edge, isn't it? Yes, and that'll work beautifully. Let me just do that. Okay. I think I'm going to use this glue. And that's that. Now, I'm not going to, should I decorate them? Okay, I won't decorate this one. I will show you the last ones that I've got. This is a biology book, zoology actually, book. What do you call this? Veterinary biology, right? So it's got some weird images and things going. But again, they folded into absolutely lovely pockets. And what did I glue shut here? My goodness. Right. And I think they came out beautifully. I think they just came out fantastically beautifully. So again, look at that. Here I went with the bird theme. Again, a bit of a nautical theme on this one. This one was a little over the place before I decided to do it on a theme. So here you've got a little bit of everything. I think this was my first one that I made, if I remember correctly. And this one, also a little bit over the place, all over the place, but yeah, I started settling down and realizing what I wanted to do. So, in any case, that's what they look like. Let me show you the last one. And this last one I'll decorate a little bit with you. So I want this to be my outside page. So I'm going to leave that there. I will use this one like that. Okay. So these two will fold in the center. Then this one will flip over. No, I don't want that one to flip over. I want this one to flip over. And fold down the flaps. Okay. Glue down the flaps. I realize the video is becoming a little bit long, and that's why I'm not decorating more than one of these pockets, but honestly, that's a whole lot of fun. The decorations are really what we want to get to, isn't it? That's where we start having fun. Everything else is just preparatory work. Although I've got to be honest with you, I kind of enjoyed folding these. But sometimes one just needs to have more time. Time can be such an issue, isn't it? Right. Let us do the opening on this side. And we'll make this our flap has to be shorter. Make this our flap. And this our pocket. Right. And we punch. Okay. Glue this down. The glue bottle is rather empty after this stint of pocket making. Glue the sides of this pocket. Right. And then we need a closure. Let's go into this one again. We'll use this one. This time I'm not going to use that stamp scissor pattern. I might just do quick rounded corners, and I round this on the very smallest of the settings. Yes, I like that better. Right, this one can go there. We'll use this one. Right, and that one will tuck in, but now we're not going to tuck it in because we want to decorate this one. It's still a bit wet, but we are going to try it. What shall we go for? Shall we do this nautical theme? I've got the fish right in front of me, so why don't we do that? Shall we go for... I've done the big fish. So how about we do some smaller fish? Oh, I like that. Might even be able to do 3. Yes, I kind of like that. I'm going to go with this. So now what I'm going to do, you see how empty this one is? It's becoming problematic. So I'm going to glue these down in place. They're all facing the same way. It's just curious. That's okay. And these are from a fish book that I cut apart. Love the images in the book. And I love being able to use these images in my journaling. I want to do a nautical journal, but I had a friend come over to visit this afternoon, and we were laughing so loud over all the journals I want to make. And I will eventually get down to it, I'm quite sure, but it's yeah, it's a rather extensive collection that I want to make. And yeah, there's only so many hours in a day, and one has a number of obligations. But what? You know, you eat the elephant one bite at a time, isn't it? So we'll get there. I like this one. I like how the colors work here. Let me put it there. And let me get something in like this. Post office, imagine that. Now, I could have just stamped here as well, but I don't have my stamps here with me. And these things are pre-stamped. And so they work brilliantly. Post office. Should I do that? Yeah, maybe that. I like that. So we do a little bit of layering, not too much. We've got all sorts of things here. Destination. That should pick up the green of the fish. Oops. Just the word destination. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so this is the idea, that you just build small little collections and things like that. Okay, so we're going to start with the airmail one. This glue should not be left open like that. It dries too quickly. And then we're going to come in with a post office one. And we're going to take the word destination and just slight overlaps to make it a little bit more interesting. And that's the idea here. That's how you go about this. Is this the same one as that? No, it's not. So let's do this. And just one more thing here. How about this? Oh, how about this? Where is my circle punch? Now I hope this will punch it out, because my punch is a bit blunt. And I need to sharpen it. Okay, now it still did this. Lovely. Okay. So shall we do that? And what else? What have we got? Maybe this side up. Why not? Okay, so let's start with this side up. I left the glue open again. Then we put down this number 6, which could also be a number 9. And then we bring in this one. Just a little something like that. And how much or how little you do is up to yourself. Now when you fold this over, best idea is to just put a ruler in place and re-establish that fold one for yourself. Right. Let's leave this as is. I like the back here. I think I'm not going to do anything in the back. Might not have to do anything here either. Like this. No, I will have to bring in some more color. But okay, you get the idea of this. I should have left this to dry properly before I decorated it, because my glue now went a little wobbly on me. That's not ideal. What I'm doing now is not ideal. But because I did not leave it to dry properly, I got a bit of a mess there. Okay, so leave it to dry first, then start your decorations. But guys, that's the idea behind this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it valuable. And I hope you go out and make these pockets, because they are a whole lot of fun to make. And I think very useful. Add a couple of journaling pages on the inside. Let me get one that's dry. Okay, so add a couple of journaling pages here on the inside. And turn this into a signature all on its own, in its own right. Or a tiny mini journal in its own right. And yeah, loads of ideas of what you can do with these. In any case, the sky's the limit as far as our imaginations are concerned, isn't it? So be creative, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!